You often suffer from leg cramps, which are uncomfortable, sudden, severe pains that can strike without warning, leaving your legs aching and restless for no apparent reason. Dr. Ken Berry, a family physician with over 20 years of experience helping people live healthier lives, may also be known as the author of Lies My Doctor Told Me, and he gave a conference talk on the subject. In it, he outlines the causes of leg cramps and offers treatments that have helped thousands of people get relief from them. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly what causes these cramps, and more importantly, how you can prevent them. We'll explore 7 specific causes of leg cramps, along with their respective treatments. So if you're wondering why these cramps keep happening, or how you can finally stop them, you've come to the right place. Many people today think that leg cramps are just a natural part of aging, or something they just have to live with. But that's not true. In fact, once you understand what causes leg cramps, you'll see that there are simple, actionable steps you can take to reduce or even eliminate them. Before we dive in, I encourage you to watch this entire video, and please share it with your friends and family. Whether you suffer from leg cramps yourself or know someone who does, this information can make a real difference. We'll go step by step through 7 common causes of leg cramps, ranked from most common to least common. After each cause, I'll provide you with an immediate, practical remedy you can try. Remember, while the most common causes are less serious, rare causes can signal serious underlying problems, so it's important to read through. You might discover something you didn't expect. So if you're ready, let's get started on our journey to understanding and curing leg cramps. Let's dive right in. Let's start with what I've found to be the #1 cause of leg cramps over the years of practicing medicine: inadequate salt intake. This is a much more common problem than most people realize. In fact, I suspect that for the vast majority of patients who come to me complaining of leg cramps, inadequate salt intake is the root cause. Why is this so common? The answer lies in a dogma that has been around for about 50 or 60 years. A message that salt is bad, that it raises blood pressure, and that it's bad for your health. But when you look at the research, that's not true. The idea that we have to severely restrict salt simply isn't supported by strong scientific evidence. I'll include a link in the show notes to one of my favorite books that dives into the real science of salt. Biologically, humans, like all mammals, need salt every day. It's not optional. In the animal kingdom, mammals instinctively seek out salt because it's essential for survival. Yet many of us, after decades of hearing that salt is dangerous, have developed a fear of it. This fear leads to chronic underconsumption, which in turn contributes to painful cramps at night. So what's the solution? First, stop fearing salt. Instead, start listening to your body. The best advice is simple. Eat salt according to taste. If your body craves salt, there's a reason. Now it's very important to choose the right kind of salt. Skip the ultra-processed salts you'll find in most grocery stores. Many of these contain additives like dextrose, maltodextrin, and even aluminum, which are added to prevent clumping. But natural salt will clump a little, which is actually a good sign that you're getting the real deal. Also, be aware that modern sea salt often contains microplastics and nanoplastics due to pollution in today's oceans. For this reason, I recommend avoiding salt sourced from the modern ocean. Instead, look for salt sourced from the bottom of ancient oceans, salt that's been locked away for millennia, free of modern pollutants. I'll include a link to my favorite salt in the show notes. This means incorporating real salt into your daily diet. Simply incorporating pure, unprocessed salt into your meals can help prevent leg cramps, often with quick results. Now, let's explore the second major cause of leg cramps: electrolyte imbalance. This is a broad category that includes deficiencies in 3 key minerals: magnesium, potassium, and calcium. All of these electrolytes play a critical role in how your muscles contract and relax. Without them, those muscles, especially in your legs, can become prone to painful cramping. There's also an important fatty acid called arachidonic acid, which is vital for muscle function. It helps your muscle cells properly manage calcium entry, a process that's absolutely necessary for smooth contraction and relaxation. Without enough of it, muscles can spasm or seize. Unfortunately, in today's modern world, electrolyte depletion is incredibly common. Many people, whether following the standard American diet, a low-carb or keto plan, or even a carnivore approach, are running low on magnesium and potassium without realizing it. Calcium deficiency is also widespread, even though many assume they are getting enough from their diet. These deficiencies interfere with muscle health, increasing the risk of cramps. So what can you do? Let's start with calcium. There's no need to reach for calcium supplements, which can sometimes do more harm than good. The best way to support your body's calcium needs is through real, whole foods. I recommend including small fish with edible bones, such as sardines or anchovies, and plenty of dark, leafy greens in your meals. If you'd like a full guide, I've made a separate video detailing the best calcium-rich foods, and I'll link it in the show notes. Next, magnesium and potassium. Sadly, even a clean, whole food diet often isn't enough to supply the levels of these minerals your muscles need, thanks to soil depletion and modern farming practices. That's why I recommend actively supplementing these electrolytes. In my own practice, I add a few drops of high-quality electrolyte solution to my coffee or water each day. And this simple habit goes a long way in maintaining proper magnesium and potassium levels. Finally, let's not forget arachidonic acid, a powerful ally in muscle health. Though your body makes some of it naturally, you can boost your levels through diet. The best sources are fatty meats, both red and white, as well as seafood. Including these foods regularly will help ensure your muscles get the arachidonic acid they need for proper calcium handling and muscle function. In practical terms, this means building your meals with calcium, magnesium, and potassium-rich foods, adding electrolyte drops to your drinks as needed, and making sure you include fatty meats and seafood in your diet. With this approach, you'll be giving your muscles exactly what they need to stay strong, flexible, and cramp-free. And now, let's move on to the next hidden cause of leg cramps that many people overlook. Our next cause of leg cramps is one that surprises many people: temporary overexertion. This type of cramping happens when the muscles are pushed beyond their usual limits, often in a sudden burst of physical activity. Picture this: someone who spends most of their week sitting at a desk decides to go on an 8-mile uphill hike. During or shortly after that exertion, often that night or the following night, leg cramps strike. These cramps are the body's natural response to unaccustomed strain. The muscles simply aren't conditioned for that level of effort, and as a result, they respond with spasms. It's important to understand that this is not a medical problem, nor is it necessarily related to electrolyte imbalance or insufficient salt intake. It's a very normal occurrence, your body's way of telling you that it was pushed too hard, too fast. So what's the solution? First, there's no need for alarm. These cramps usually resolve on their own within a few days, without any special treatment. Rest, light stretching, and hydration will support recovery. The real key lies in prevention. If you've experienced this type of cramping after sudden exertion, it's a gentle nudge from your body encouraging you to become more active on a regular basis. The more you consistently move and stretch your muscles, the stronger and more resilient they become, reducing the likelihood of future cramps from overexertion. In other words, avoid falling into a sedentary routine. Instead, gradually build your activity level so that when you take on a challenging activity, like that uphill hike, your muscles are prepared. You'll enjoy your adventures more and recover faster, all while protecting your leg health. So remember, while overexertion cramps are normal, they're also a sign that your body is ready for more regular movement. Build strength slowly, stay active, and you'll find that your legs will soon meet life's physical challenges with ease. Now, let's move forward and explore the next cause of leg cramps you need to be aware of. Another important cause of leg cramps, one that is often overlooked, is medications. Many common prescriptions can significantly increase your risk of leg cramps. Yet very few patients are aware that their medications might be the culprit. Often, when someone experiences cramps, they assume it's just aging or diet, without realizing that a pill they take every day could be playing a major role. Let's walk through some of the most common offenders. Statin drugs, such as Zocor, Lipitor, Crestor, and Lovaza, are prescribed to lower cholesterol. Yet despite weak or conflicting research about their ability to prevent heart attacks and strokes, these drugs are widely used. One of their most frequent side effects? Muscle aches, joint aches, and you guessed it, leg cramps. Osteoporosis medications like Forteo and Evista, designed to improve bone density, can also provoke leg cramps in many patients. Fake estrogens, such as estradiol, Estratest, Premarin, and Prempro, further raise the risk. Oral estrogens in particular can cause cramping, and they also increase the likelihood of dangerous blood clots in the legs, which we'll touch on later. NSAIDs, or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like naproxen, Celebrex, and ibuprofen, can quietly increase the risk of cramping as well. Calcium channel blockers, including Procardia and Norvasc, are prescribed to manage blood pressure and heart conditions. However, by interfering with calcium channels in your skeletal muscles, they can disrupt proper muscle contraction and lead to cramps. Other drugs also deserve mention. The common antihistamine Zyrtec can trigger cramps when used daily over long periods. The antibiotic ciprofloxacin, Cipro, has been linked to muscle and tendon issues, including cramps. And SSRIs, like Celexa, used to treat depression and anxiety, can also heighten the risk of leg cramps. The important takeaway here is this: many patients believe their medications are harmless or without unintended side effects. But in reality, drugs affect the body in complex ways beyond their intended purpose. It's vital to stay informed and recognize when your medication might be contributing to leg discomfort. So what can you do? First, talk to your healthcare provider. If you notice a connection between your leg cramps and a particular medication, bring it up. Your doctor may be able to adjust your treatment. Here are some specific tips. For statins, discuss whether you truly need them. I have videos explaining this in more detail. Links will be in the notes. For osteoporosis drugs, consider exploring natural methods for strengthening bones. I also have a separate video on that topic. If you are using fake estrogens, ask your doctor about safer bioidentical hormone options. For calcium channel blockers, it may be worth reviewing other possible medications. With Zyrtec, try to limit use to occasional relief instead of daily long-term use. For SSRIs like Celexa, your doctor may suggest a dose adjustment or an alternative approach. Lastly, I encourage you to help others by sharing your own experiences in the comments below. If you've discovered that a certain medication triggered your leg cramps, and that the cramps went away after stopping the drug, let us know. This helps raise awareness and can make a real difference for others in our community. In practice, if you're dealing with leg cramps, start by addressing the common causes first, such as salt intake, electrolyte balance, and activity level. But if cramps persist, don't hesitate to work with your doctor to review your medications. And whenever possible, lean toward natural, supportive alternatives that don't carry unwanted side effects. Now let's move on to the next important cause of leg cramps you should know about. Now, we come to a less common but far more serious cause of leg cramps: a blood clot, also known as deep vein thrombosis, or DVT. This condition occurs when a blood clot forms in one of the deep veins of the body, most often in the leg. And unlike many other causes we've discussed so far, this one can pose a significant threat to your health if not addressed promptly. DVT-related cramps typically affect one leg, not both. You may feel a cramp-like pain, often worsening when you walk or move. The pain may come and go, or it may steadily worsen over time. Many people describe it as an unusual kind of cramp, deeper, more persistent, and not relieved by stretching or salt intake. Why is this so important to recognize? Because a DVT can lead to a life-threatening complication called pulmonary embolism, when a piece of the clot breaks off and travels to the lungs. That's why it is absolutely essential to treat this condition early, before serious consequences occur. If you notice cramps or deep aching in one leg, especially if it worsens with walking or has been lingering for weeks, do not ignore it. You should seek prompt medical evaluation. Your doctor will likely recommend a venous Doppler ultrasound. This is a painless, non-invasive test that examines the deep veins, not just the ones you can see near the skin, and can accurately detect the presence of a clot. If a blood clot is found, medical treatment is absolutely necessary. This is not something that will resolve on its own with home remedies or supplements. Proper care is required to prevent the clot from growing or breaking loose and to reduce the risk of pulmonary embolism. The practical takeaway here is simple. If you experience cramping, aching, or discomfort in one leg, especially when walking, pay close attention. If it persists or worsens, consult your healthcare provider without delay and ask for an ultrasound. It is always better to be cautious and safe. Addressing DVT early saves lives and protects your long-term mobility and well-being. Now let's continue and examine another potential cause of leg cramps, one that often goes unnoticed in daily life. Another serious, but often under-recognized, cause of leg cramps is peripheral artery disease, also known as PAD. This condition develops when the arteries that carry blood to your legs become blocked or narrowed. As a result, the blood flow to your muscles is restricted, which can lead to painful cramping, especially when you walk. Unlike a blood clot, PAD can affect one or both legs. The key symptom is a noticeable increase in cramping or aching while walking, which tends to ease when you stop moving. Some people also experience nighttime leg cramps that disrupt their sleep. There are several major risk factors for PAD: long-standing diabetes, a history of smoking or tobacco use, and chronic high blood pressure. If any of these apply to you, it's important to pay close attention to leg symptoms. PAD is not something to ignore. If untreated, it can progress to severe complications, including the loss of toes, feet, or even parts of the leg. That's why medical evaluation is essential, especially if you've ruled out more common causes of leg cramps, such as salt imbalance, electrolytes, overexertion, medications, or DVT. So, how do you find out if PAD is behind your symptoms? The first step is a simple, non-invasive test called the ankle brachial index, or ABI. This compares blood flow in your arms and legs, giving your doctor a quick snapshot of your circulation. If your ABI is abnormal, further tests, such as an ultrasound of the leg arteries or a detailed CT angiography, CTA, may be needed to pinpoint the problem. If a blockage is confirmed, treatment options include procedures like stent placement or bypass surgery to restore proper circulation and prevent worsening outcomes. Prompt medical care is crucial. The earlier PAD is treated, the better the chances of preserving healthy function and mobility. In practical terms, if you're still experiencing leg cramps after addressing salt, electrolytes, activity levels, medications, and possible DVT, especially if the cramps worsen with walking, talk to your doctor about the possibility of PAD. Specifically, ask for an ABI test to evaluate your leg circulation. From there, follow through with the recommended steps to safeguard your health. Next, let's move on to another surprising factor behind persistent leg cramps, one that is often hiding in plain sight. Finally, we arrive at the least common but potentially most dangerous cause of leg cramps: certain serious medical conditions. While these are rare, they must not be overlooked, especially if you've already addressed all the other causes we've discussed. Some specific illnesses can trigger leg cramps in ways that simple dietary or lifestyle adjustments cannot resolve. Let's take a closer look. Certain cancers can disrupt the body's electrolyte metabolism, leading to muscle cramps, even if you are consuming plenty of salt, magnesium, and potassium. Autoimmune diseases can also affect the muscles, creating persistent aches and cramps in the legs as part of a broader inflammatory response. Liver diseases, such as cirrhosis, are another culprit. They can contribute to leg cramps in ways that routine annual lab tests may not catch, meaning liver issues can sometimes go undiagnosed until more thorough investigation is done. One condition that's more common than people realize is lumbar stenosis, a narrowing of the spinal canal in the lower back. This condition often causes leg cramps. While many patients experience accompanying lower back pain, others may have leg cramps as the only symptom, which makes it easy to miss. It's important to keep this in mind. These serious causes should only be considered after you've first addressed more common factors, such as salt balance, electrolytes, overexertion, medications, DVT, or peripheral artery disease. If leg cramps continue to persist after all these have been ruled out, that's when you should work with your doctor for deeper investigation. In such cases, your healthcare provider will likely conduct a more thorough examination, discussing your full health history and possibly ordering advanced tests to look for conditions like cancer, autoimmune disease, liver dysfunction, or lumbar spine issues. In particular, if lumbar stenosis is suspected, it's important to ask your doctor whether leg cramps can occur even in the absence of back pain, so this potential cause is not missed. The key takeaway here is this: if leg cramps persist despite correcting the usual suspects, it's time to have an honest and detailed conversation with your doctor. Don't dismiss the symptoms. Seek out further evaluation, follow through with any recommended testing, and address any serious underlying issues early. By being proactive and informed, you help ensure that your leg cramps are not the warning sign of something more dangerous, and you protect your long-term health in the process. And now let's move to our conclusion, where I'll share how to put all this information into action to improve your quality of life. We've covered a lot of ground together, examining the 7 most common causes of leg cramps and exploring clear, practical interventions for each. From simple issues like salt and electrolyte imbalances to more complex issues like medications, deep vein thrombosis, peripheral artery disease, and even rare serious medical conditions, you now have a clear understanding of why leg cramps happen and, more importantly, what you can do about them. My goal with this video is to provide you with actionable information, something you can start using today. Remember, cramps aren't an inevitable part of aging. They're often signals from your body asking for attention. By using the strategies we've discussed, you can take control, reduce those pains, and support your overall health. All of this is based on a combination of ancestral wisdom, common sense, and modern research, and I encourage you to adopt that same mindset. If you found today's video helpful, I invite you to subscribe to this channel for more content like this. Just click the subscribe link below and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. By subscribing, you'll stay connected to new ideas, insights, and practical tips that can help you live a healthier, more informed life. Finally, I want to thank you for your time today. I hope this video has empowered you to better understand and resolve your leg cramps. And if you know someone who could benefit from this knowledge, please share it with them. Together, we can help more people find relief. See you next time. Stay healthy, and hope to see you in the next video.